Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Selenia Romani, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the relative clauses, defining and non-defining, and some other characteristics of the relative clauses. Okay, so let's start. First of all, a relative clause tells us which person or thing the speaker is talking about. We can use who in a relative clause when we are talking about people. For example, the woman who lives next door is a doctor. And we use which in a relative clause when we are talking about things. For example, I don't like stories which have unhappy endings. Keep in mind that the relative pronoun that can be used both for people and things, so you can replace the relative pronouns who and which with that. Sometimes who, that, and which is the object of the verb, so we can leave it out and we can omit it. For example, the woman, I can say both the woman who I wanted to see was away or the woman I wanted to see was away. We use the relative pronouns whose to indicate possess, where to indicate a place, what to indicate something, and why to indicate a cause. Let's talk about the defining relative clauses. So, defining relative clauses tell us some information, essential information about the things or people they refer to. They omit the relative pronoun when it is the object of the relative clause. They are never separated from the rest of the sentence by commas, and they are used both in writing and speaking. For example, the picture which hangs next to Meg's portrait is the one I like the best. In this case, the relative which that introduce the relative clause which hangs next to Meg's portrait is a defining relative clause because it indicates something that we cannot omit. Otherwise, this sentence doesn't have an actual meaning. It is essential to say that, to report this information. If we are talking about non-defining relative clauses, we are talking about clauses that tell us some extra information about the things or people they refer to. They may use who or which, but they never use that. They never omit the relative pronoun, and they must be separated by the rest of the sentence with the use of commas, and they are more common in writing than in speaking. For example, my brother Rob, who lives in Australia, is a doctor. So in this case, even if I omit the relative clause, which is who lives in Australia, we can still have a sentence with an actual meaning. So in this case, a non-defining relative clause gives us an extra information. Let's talk about prepositions in relative clauses. So both defining and non-defining relative clauses can usually put any prepositions before the relative pronoun, or if we want to be less formal, at the end of the clause. For example, I had a friend, I can say I had a friend with whom I shared everything. This is more formal. Or I can say I had a friend I shared everything with. In this case, in the second case, the preposition with is at the end of the sentence. You cannot use the prepositions with where and when, but they can be replaced by a preposition and which. For example, in this example, the conference room where or in which the meeting was held wasn't big enough. In this case, I can use both where or in which. In which can replace where. Let's talk about the a relative pronoun followed by ever, which indicates that there are unlimited possibilities of choice. So, for example, with whatever, he complains about whatever I do. It means he complains about every single thing I do. However you look at, there's no solution. Whenever, you can call me whenever you want. Whoever will come will be better than him. Wherever, I will follow wherever you will go. Or whichever team wins, we'll celebrate. Okay, thank you very much. This is the end. If you have any question, please put a comment down below and I will answer as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye bye.